Hello, this is Connor, and I'm doing something different today. I'm going to impart some of my Sims knowledge to people in this new series of Sims tutorials. So the first one I'm doing today is going to be how to build a starter house for your first Sim, because I know a lot of people struggle with this. They have to resort to Rosebud or Motherlode or whatever the money cheat is these days. So I'm going to show you how to build a house within your budget where your Sim can live a relatively comfortable life. This is our starter sim, Timmy Tutorial, who I've just created for the purpose of this video. And we're going to move him into Brook Bungalow here, because that's a 40 by 30 lot, which is a decent enough size for expansion later on. And it only costs 3 grand. And I think everyone's got Willow Creek. It comes with the game. So I'm not going to build in some weird expansion pack neighborhood that you're probably not going to have. So let's load this up and get building. And I will show you what you can do. Okay, so well, here's Timmy. If you want to meet him, he's a bit homeless right now. He wants somewhere to live, so we're going to give it to him. We're going to build him a nice luxurious bungalow for under 17 grand, because that's all he has left to spend. Obviously he didn't invest wisely and he lost a lot of his money in a stock market crash, we'll say. But he's on the way back. Okay, first we're just going to move this mailbox. It bugs me when it's in the corner there. That's not its final position. Right. Okay. So, building a Sims bungalow on a budget. There's some rooms you're going to need that are very, very important. What I like to do is I like to start with a living room. And one thing I love is having a bay window. So, you can get a nice living room if you just start with get your bay window with 2 slanty walls with a 3 block long wall in the middle. Then drag down 4 here, 4 here, and 5 across. The bay window is optional. You can just make a 5 by 5 room, but I think this just adds a nice touch to it. Right, we need an entrance, a hallway, which will come in here. And it will stretch down this way, and at the end of the hallway we're going to put in a bathroom. A bathroom only needs to be 3 by 3. That's as much as you ever need for an alright bathroom for your Sims, and we'll just connect our hallway up like that. Of course we need a bedroom. Timmy needs somewhere to sleep, and hopefully he'll be joined by like a wife or husband or whatever later on, so we want him to have room for a double bed. So the smallest bedroom you can make, really, if you want to be serious about it, is a 4 by 4 room, so we can just throw that down there. And finally we want our kitchen. Now the kitchen can be pretty much any size you want, but you want a big one, because you want room for a table to serve breakfast on, you want room for your fridge, you want room for your counters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this back 3 blocks here, and then from the end of this hall I'm going to extend it back another 4. You know what, I might even extend it a 5th. Yeah. So this kitchen is essentially 5 by 7 blocks-ish. I think that's a good sized kitchen. So now you've got your basic layout of your house. You want to stick in your doors. Actually, yeah, we'll start with our doors. How is this looking? I think this is looking okay so far. So we want a front door here. So I like to pick one of the double doors down here. I've got a lot of expansions and things. I'll try to stick to vanilla game stuff, because I know not everyone has all the expansion packs. This is a kind of nice door, I think. I like that shade of wood, and it gives us a nice sort of... It's got built-in windows, so it'll brighten up the hallway a bit. Yeah, actually, we should do the interior doors before we move on to windows. Interior doors. This is a starter house. It's nothing too fancy. You could use these glass doors, or if you're more concerned about privacy, you know, maybe they're a little too transparent. This one seems all right. Door 1 wide. You've got a little window at the top. You know, that's kind of nice. So just generally stick these in around the house. Wherever possible, I like to leave one brick of space between the door and the edge of the room. In our bathroom, that isn't really possible right now, but in most cases I do, just because I think it makes it look a little more centered and nice. So after we've done our doors, we're going to put in our windows. What I like to do at the front here, actually, I've made this house. This is something you may notice, this gap above the door here. This is to do with the height setting of our house. If you click on a room, you'll see these 3 bars, and these set how tall this story of the house is. So we could have it shorter, we could have it medium, we could have it very tall. I think very tall is too much. It's a toss-up between short and medium. I think we'll go medium. I think that's a good height, generally, for your ground floor, unless you're building a mega mansion or something. So we want some good tall windows here for our living room to let in a lot of light. And we ideally want some that match the wood colour we've used for the door. That's harder than you would think, because not a lot of these match. What I will do is I'm going to filter these items down so that we only have the base game available. And see what I can get. That's the one I was looking at before. This one's okay, I guess. Yeah, and it's not too expensive either. It's just 40 simoleons. So there we can have a nice open sunny sitting room. And we've got our window here. We have a bedroom over here. I generally like a wider window for that. I have made that bedroom too wide. I said the bedroom needed to be 4 by 4. And I have made it 5 by 5. So I'll shrink that down a bit. Although, no, a 5 by 5 bedroom will work as well. We can afford it, I think. Now, let's look for a window wide enough to suit our bedroom. I mean, this is nice, but it can't be centered there. So we're in a little bit of trouble with this one. But these are the ones we used on the front of the house. I don't want to reuse them. It's amazing the difference just having a few different kinds of windows on your house will make. So why don't I go with one of these, and I'll make the bedroom just that tiny bit thinner, so it's 4 wide. Because I think centering is quite important with the windows to get the right look. I mean, okay, you can fake it a little bit. You know, you can pretend you don't notice that it's off-center if your bedroom's 5 wide, but, you know, it'll eat you up inside in the long term. You'll just get sick of it. You won't want to play after a while. Bathroom is over here. For the bathroom, I like to have a long, high window. Maybe something like this, but that can't really be centered. This one can. In fact, if you put 3 of these in a row, they sort of make a nice little continuation of a window. It looks like one window, which is nice. Kitchen. We're going to have a back door, because I think all houses should have a back door. Bit of garden space. For the back door, you want something outdoorsy but not too fancy. This is quite a nice door. I think that's a good back door. We'll stick that there. We've sort of gone with a brown theme for our windows and doors, so I'm sticking with that all the way through. And we need some kitchen windows, and I really like our bedroom window we used here. So I think I'm just going to reuse that for our kitchen. And I think if we can fit in 2 of them there and there, and that should light up the room a lot. And that's sort of the basic frame of our house. Now, the next thing we need to do is put on the roof. And this is the part people absolutely dread. But it's not so bad. The key to the roof is to do it in as many big squares as possible and try to eliminate any sort of weird shapes you have. The bay window will be a bit of a nightmare, but we can work around that. Just try to minimize areas like that. So first we're going to start with one of these gabled roofs, and we're just going to plonk it down there, stretch it out to the width of the house and out to the length of the house. One more. And that's a start. We're going to use a half-hipped roof over our bay window. The secret with these roofs and with the hipped roofs is that the gutters on them are really short by default, but you can drag them down with this little arrow. And they fit in a lot better with the other roofs. See, it matches up here and forms a sort of coherent line. And I think that's kind of important. It makes them look a lot nicer. And over here, we're going to put in another gabled roof here, but we're going to rotate it, do it sideways, and stretch it out that width, and join it on. One thing I like to do with the gabled roofs is, if I can, lower them, the tall ones, down so that all the points of the roofs are at the same height. And I think that gives a good sort of consistency. So, see, we can smooth that so it blends into this roof. And these two meet in the middle in this nice little even point. And I think that's a pretty good looking roof, if I do say so myself. Actually, I'm noticing here, this door is off center. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the door is only taking up 2. If something like that happens and it bugs you, like it bugs me, what you can do is, if you take a tall window and stick it next to the door, you can make it look a little bit more even. But what I like to do when I'm doing this, sorry, that's not where the final position for it. If you put the window on like the handle side of the door, I think it looks better than having it on the other side. It centers the handle a bit and makes it look a bit more even. Don't ask me how that works, it just does. Now, we don't have any windows on this side, and we have very few on this side. It looks a little bit bare, but don't worry, we'll fix that later on. So now we've got the basic frame of our house. We want to design the exterior. So what I generally do is, if you go into the masonry here, or you can do siding if that's more your thing. I think I'm a masonry person. You know that they say concrete homes are better built homes. And it might be good to set the timer here. What's it at? Okay, it's at afternoon. That's probably as clear as we're going to get it. You can switch the time of day up here if you need to change the lighting to make anything a bit clearer. I'm going to filter again so that we only have base game content. Now, what we can do, actually, we could do a combination. These walls, see, the bottom is brick and the top is siding. And I think there might be a type of siding that matches with them in here. Unless I'm very much mistaken. So, yeah, I think that's it. So, what we can do is we can cover our base with this. Actually, I don't like these corner bits. Forget that. Forget that idea. It's too busy. If you had a more square house with less corners, that one might work. No, what I'm going to do instead is, why don't I do a light grey brick? I think that can look very nice. Yeah, that's okay. I think a grey brick works well if you have a dark roof. And you have to make sure to get every exterior of your house, because each room's exterior wall counts as a different room for some reason. I don't know why. It just can be very easy to miss them. And I'm also going to click on roof trims here and choose something a bit darker, just to make the roof look a little bit nicer. We could even go for a brown roof trim, actually, to match our windows. I think that's kind of nice, but I think I preferred the black one. In fact, I actually think I might go for a thinner roof trim. Yeah, and I think that's a lot nicer. So the house is already starting to come together. So we're going to work on the interior now, because we've only got 11,000 left, and Timmy is getting a bit desperate. It's cold out there. He's only in shorts. He's going to freeze. So, and you can see it's autumn. There's leaves everywhere. It's not the warmest weather. Okay, so we're going to work in the essential bits of furniture first. So I think the most essential things you're going to need are your plumbing and your appliances. Because in an emergency, your sim can like go around to a neighbour's house and, well, no, you can't really sleep in their bed. They'll probably throw you out. Well, I suppose beds are important as well. So we're going to stick relatively cheap, but you can get some really nice toilets cheap. Like the Ambassador, it's white, it's simple, but it does the job. So we're going to stick that in here, and we'll put a sink next to it. I always put my toilets on exterior facing walls if possible, just because in my head the plumbing has to go somewhere, and if it's going outside it makes more sense. Now, bath or shower, that is the question. I think, to be honest, I don't like to have to choose. And this tub is relatively cheap and gives you both, a bath if you have to wash the kids, or a shower if, you have to shower yourself before work and get out quickly. So I think that's fine. That should do it. Kitchen. We need our appliances. So we need a fridge. You can go for the really cheap one if you want. I'd go up one level for the fridge just to get a nice one that matches things, because I don't think the level 1 fridge really goes with anything. So I'm going to stick this over, you know what, I'll stick the fridge over here in this corner, and then I'll get a cooker and stick it over here, and I'm going to put the sink over here. So we're going to get some counters, because you need surfaces for your kitchen. These cheap ones come in an awful lot of colours, and again, they go with a lot of things, so they should be fine for your starting house. And here's a tip. This button next to them, auto counter, you can expand that and choose a particular shape of counter to use if you need a corner piece and, it's not automatically placed in it. That's how you can just get one and sort of force it to be a corner piece. You see, I always put my sinks in front of the window as well, so when you're doing the dishes you have something to look out at. And I think that's enough counters. I like to finish them off with an end piece, just one of these, just to make it look nice. And we're down to 7 grand. We've spent an awful lot of money, but it's fine. We've got plenty left. Okay, beds. We want a double bed. There's no point in buying a single bed unless you plan on your Sims staying single, because sometime they're going to want to get married, they're going to want to have kids, probably. So they're going to need somewhere to woohoo, essentially. And you can't woohoo in a single bed. You can in a bush if you really want to, but we won't get into that. Let's see. I think it pays to get a good bed. So we don't want to go for the very cheapest. But if we go even up one level, like this one is uncomfortable, so you get a bad moodlet for sleeping in it. This one, it gives you the same energy, it gives you discomfort, so it relieves your discomfort, and it's not that much more expensive, like less than 200 simoleons in the difference. So I like to pick this, and I'll just pick it in a nice bright colour. Unfortunately, a lot of the sheet designs are a bit ugly, but we can live with that. It's a starter house. Once we have a job and earn some money, it should be fine. And finally, we're going to need a way to... Oh, well, not finally. Yeah, well, next, we'll need a way to entertain ourselves and build skills. So we'll need a couch. I don't mind. Let's go with it. We could go dark blue. Let's go with purple. That's a little bit different. Stick it in here. The cheap one is fine. These make very little difference. Like, some of them give you comfort, but I've never had a problem with having a cheap one. We will go into storage and get ourselves a little bookshelf. Again, nothing too expensive. I mean, this one's quite stylish. It hangs on the wall nicely. It matches our couch. It's fine. And I think we probably want a television. Just, to get the fun up. I mean, we could read for fun, but I think that you need something to point your furniture at. So if you go into electronics, and you can get a TV stand here. And that goes quite well with the arms of the couch as well. And this is a little tip. It's a little bit... Some of you might consider it a cheat or something. It's fine. You get the small TV and you press the right square bracket button to artificially inflate it to fit the TV tray. And there you go. You've got your own retro widescreen TV. And now finally, we need, in our kitchen, we need a table to eat dinner at. He's living on his own, so we just need like a small, simple table and a couple of chairs, a couple of dining chairs. Let's see, what's nice. These ones are fine. They'll do the job. They match the table. Okay, so now the house is a bit dingy. We're going to need to put in some lighting. So what I like to do with the lights, there's very few of them that work well. There are two lights I always find myself falling back on. They are this lamp I think this is like one you can get in IKEA, like the paper lampshade thing. I like to use this for bedrooms. It's a nice soft focus light and it makes the room look nice. I mean, I'll use it for the living room as well, I think, and maybe the hall. I think it just, it makes them cozy. The hall, I was going to say we might need two lights. I don't think we do. For the kitchen and bathroom, I'm going to use the subtle saucer light because this is the best light. It looks rubbish, but it really lights up the room well, and you want these rooms to look clean. So I'm going to put two in the kitchen just because it's a big room. Notice how I'm centering them along one particular line through the room. I think if you keep them in a straight line like that and an equal distance from the walls, then it looks nice. It brings a nice balance. So okay, the house is nearly done. We just need to decorate the walls and floors, which isn't too bad at all. So we can go into floors. I think for the hallway, maybe I'm going to throw up the walls for this so we get a nicer view. Maybe we'll just do some wooden floorboards in the hallway. I think that could be nice. The sitting room, we want, well, we've gone for a purple theme, so maybe some kind of purple carpet. I know it's a little bit weird looking, but I think it matches the couch and gives the place a sort of nice look. Bedroom, I like a carpeted bedroom as well. If we go with red, it matches the sheets. That's pretty nice. And then we need to tile these two rooms. I always fall back on using these tiles, so I'm not going to today. I'm going to do, I think these ones are a nice bathroom tile. For the kitchen, yeah, that's a good kitchen tile. Now the walls. Let's see. A nice tip for the walls, actually, if you go into the paint here, you can get like a dark colour like this and do one wall, and then do the others. Where is it? We want a sort of lighter, whiter colour. I believe there's one, Pure Expression. That's it. To do the rest of the walls. And I believe that's called having an accent wall, but it works, doesn't it? The purple kind of on the wall matches the carpet and the TV, but it's not overpowering. The hallway, maybe we'll do some wallpaper. A lot of the wallpapers in this game are very ugly though, so I'm not sure if we want to do that. Like, that's very dark. No, I think painting is the more stylish way. I like this because we've got a little wooden trim at the bottom and it kind of matches the doors, so it makes it look kind of nice. The bedroom, I think if we do a nice peach colour, it matches the other colour on the sheets, so that's pretty nice. And now kitchen and bathroom, let's see. Well, we want these bright white tiles, I think, in the bathroom. In the kitchen, I think a sort of blue would be nice because there's a blue in the floor pattern, but I think it would be a bit much to have it everywhere. So again, we're going to use a sort of accent wall technique. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tile it as far as there are counters, and then I'm going to switch for the rest of the room. We're going to go back to the paint, and where was Pure Expression? Do we want it white? I think the white is pretty nice here, or we could go for this sort of light bluish wallpaper. It's also pretty nice, but I'm not sure. If we can get it with a different variation, yeah, that's quite nice, a sort of whiter variation of it, just to join up those walls. And there you go, that gives the kitchen, you know, a sort of a hint of blue without going overboard. Now, I'm not happy with these counters anymore. I think maybe we should make the counters a little bit bluer as well. You can use this design tool if you ever change your mind about anything in your kitchen, just to adjust the colours, or anything anywhere in your house, just to make it look a little bit more normal. Oh, our kitchen sink, almost forgot. That would be an annoying one to leave out. They just wash the dishes in the bathroom anyway. And since we've got a bit of money left over, if I go up to my surfaces here, where is it? Cabinets. What we can do is we could get some kitchen cabinets to put up here. And again, similar to the counters below, you can change the shape here. So what I like to do above the cooker is if we get one of these, like half-size ones. And then you go into your appliances and our cookers. I believe this is the extractor, the noblesse. This will actually fit inside the cabinet, which gives a nice effect. Now we might want to change the color on these to match below. Yeah, that's a little bit better. We don't want them to stand out too much. But yeah, there we go. So we've got a nice kitchen. We've still got some money left. The outside of the house is still a little bit simple looking. So we can touch that up if you go over into your build mode and your terrain tools. You can actually choose over here in stone and pavement. You can choose a little path and sort of spray it on going up your garden. Just to, you know, give a bit of connectivity with the road. Your mailbox I like to have near the front. And round the side here, this looks a little bit plain, but what I like to put in is if we go to our appliances, and if we get one of these like wheelie bins and stick it round the side, or even further back, so your Sims, when they're emptying the kitchen bin, they'll empty it into here, so they'll come out and throw stuff in, and, you know, it'll be nice. It'll be a way to keep the house clean. Now, the garden's still a little bit bare, and we've still got a little bit of money left. So what I'm going to do is if you go into your terrain tools, and if you can find a good sort of dirty ground cover, I think if you scribble this a bit around a few patches, in fact, you can even lighten it up a little bit, just have it very vague. Then you can go into your outdoor plants and maybe stick some trees into the garden to liven it up. Nice thing with the trees, if you don't want them all to look the same, you can rotate them slightly with the triangle bracket keys. The less than and greater than sign is probably what they actually are, to have them face different directions so they look different. You can also use the square brackets to make them bigger or smaller. So like we can have a bigger tree in the back there, I think. And maybe around the base you want to throw in a few little details. I think like these little grassy bits can kind of look nice, make it look a little bit more natural. Maybe we'll do one over here as well. And there you have it. We have change left over, 1,458 simoleons, and we have completed Timmy's tutorial house. The last thing you want to do is name your lot up here. So we will call it Timmy's tutorial house. And you may need city living for this, but if you go into your lot info panel, you can pick lot traits. I'm not sure if this is base game now, or it used to be a city living thing. And you can assign traits to your lot to help your sim. So if he's going to be, you know, working in the computer career or whatever, you can give him fast internet. If you're going to have a lot of kids, you can pick good schools. If you want to challenge yourself, you can go with earthquakes or have gremlins, which means all your appliances break at night, if for some reason you want that. I think a nice one to have, Timmy is a fortune sim, so if we give him penny pixies so we can get some money, you know, he'll find random money around the house. We can give him fast internet, and let's give him a bad one just to even it out. We will say that it's haunted. That will make ghosts visit the house in the night, which can be a lot of fun if you're into that sort of thing. And we will just fill in that it has one bedroom and one bathroom. And there you go. That's Timmy's tutorial house ready to go. So yeah, I'm going to share this to my own Sims 4 account. You can find me. My EA ID is Ninja Connor. And you can download this and place it in your neighborhood if you want. Or you can build your own by following this tutorial. And if you do build your own, leave a link in the comments. I'd love to see what kind of starter houses other people make. Also, so I suppose, well, like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. If you want to see me play games on Twitch, my handle there is Ninja Connor. And that will be it for now. So until next time, goodbye.